So I just want to go through some examples tonight of the sorts of things that are making my life a lot easier on an iPhone. Keeping my thoughts together. So as I said, I'm a bit of a scatterbrain and I've got a lot of ideas. I want to really record them fast. I used to walk around with one of those dictaphone thingies in my pocket, and there is a dictaphone app for the iPhone on the 3.0 software, so I can just take a voice notes. But voice notes are a little bit difficult to deal with, you know. They've got a name, but you don't really know what's in them 6 months after you've recorded them. Writing stuff down is a heck of a lot easier on an iPhone than you would expect. With a week or two of practice, you're tapping away on this thing like it's a computer keyboard most of the time. Example number 2, dude, where's my car? That's me in the orange jacket. The car isn't in sight. And although this doesn't happen often to me in ski fields, it does happen to me a lot at work. The 1 hour free parking in my street is, you know, at a premium, and I have to move my car every hour. And so I ended up parking my car in the course of a 10 or a 12 hour geek day. I might move my car 8 or 9 times. And after a while I start to forget as I walk out the door of the office. Now, am I going to Stephen Street or am I going to Smith Street? I just can't remember anymore. But the Google Maps application on the iPhone lets me solve that problem really quickly. So here, when I'm standing in a place, I can just tap this little blue button here, and that uses the GPS in the iPhone to locate where I am. And then this little blue pulsing dot appears on the screen, and that shows me where I am, and that updates as I move. So I stand outside of my car, I hit the blue button, and this little blue dot appears. Then I press this button on the far right-hand side of the screen, and I drop a pin, a little map pin on top of my map. And that stays there when I walk away. So in an hour's time, when I have to move my car, I can just walk right back to that pin on the map. So I literally just follow the blue dot. And you'll see me, if you visit Surrey Hills, once an hour I'll be walking along the street, gazing at my iPhone, following the little pulsing blue dot back to the pin that shows me where my car is. But what makes the iPhone particularly different is the quality of the screen. You can flip the phone, as this phone has been. You can flip the phone for landscape view. And if you tap twice on the browser, it'll automatically maximize the view. So the song lyrics that I'm seeing automatically expand to the maximum width of the screen, so everybody who's singing with me can see. I can also pinch to zoom in and out as well. So there's a particular part that one of us wants to see, I can just pinch it out and make it even larger. So let's go to my 4th example. This is my little boy, Alec. He's 7.5 now. This is when he was 4 or 5. Thanks for coming. And he and his mum really appreciate when I remember their birthdays. And I'm a little bit of a scatterbrain. I'm not always great at that. So here's the first example. This is Google's calendaring service, Google Calendar. And you'll see in this list, these are the people that I work with at a company called Pollinizer. The different colors denote the different people in the team. So one guy's blue, one guy's green, one guy's orange. Google Calendar takes care of that. But this is a shared calendar, so we can all make appointments with each other. This is a service, a social calendaring service called hAPPlication. This is a very cool product because what it does is it takes all of the birth dates of your friends on Facebook and imports them into your iPhone for you. So if you're the kind of person like I am who logs onto the front page of Facebook and forgets to check whose birthday it is tomorrow, you can actually have it appear right there in your iCal calendar. There's another service. This one's called Mixin. It's yet another kind of calendaring service. It too can be added to the calendar on an iPhone. So at the end of the day, this is the calendar view on the iPhone once all these things have been added. So up here in green, there's Adam Connor's birthday, Joe Lewis's birthday. Those are some Facebook friends of mine. The big chunk of yellow here is my wife's calendar. She's got an iPhone too, and the iPhone makes it really easy just to view each other's calendars. Every time she adds a new appointment to her calendar, 2 or 3 more minutes later, it appears on mine, magically. And then the brown event, that's something of my own personal calendar that my wife can see. This is the problem that I have. I do a lot of travel with my work and with my life. Last couple of years I discovered a service called TripIt.com. TripIt.com helps you get around that problem for when, say for instance, you book a flight with Virgin Blue. Virgin emails you back an itinerary, right, a PDF file that includes the flight number and all that sort of details. All you do is you forward the email with the PDF of the itinerary in it to TripIt.com. And they've got a very smart web server that reads out all the information there and actually builds an itinerary for you on the web. That way the itinerary exists in the one place. So if your flight details change, your itinerary automatically updates as well. And then here's the coolest bit. That information goes from the itinerary on TripIt.com straight to the TripIt application on your iPhone, and then you've always got your itinerary details with you. So we're not just talking about just flights. We're talking about everything that you can book for travel. So if you book a hotel, or a rental car, or a venue for a meeting, or an address you're going to meet with somebody, all this gets automatically added to your itinerary every time you forward it to TripIt.com. These are maybe two of the most surprising things I discovered about the iPhone that nobody had told me about. I just kind of discovered by accident. Apple has this thing of really, really deep integration between the different sorts of products that they sell. And here's a great example. I bought this little silver pizza box thing called an Apple TV for a couple $100. And it sits underneath my television and connects to the Wi-Fi network. And when I go to my computer and I buy a new album, say, the Apple TV stores a copy of it on the Apple TV as well. So I can go and play the album from my television as well as from my computer and on my iPhone. If I purchase a television program or a movie, obviously it's much more fun watching it on the Apple TV in front of the big screen than it is on the computer. So all of that behaves as you'd expect. But the magic is in the detail, right? Because if I'm 35 minutes through a 45-minute program at home watching it on the television, and then I walk out of the house with my iPhone, sit on the train, plug in my headphones and start to watch the same TV show, the TV show starts where I left off when I left home. So say I get 15 minutes into watching the show on my iPhone and come home and decide to watch the rest of the show on the Apple TV. The television magically picks up from where it left off on the iPhone. Can't believe they do that. It's wonderful technology. It's just one example of the really tight integration. So it's these important little things, hundreds of them all the time, that make the iPhone change your life.